attention to this. It's extremely important.
There was much disagreement among early Christians on how to understand Jesus.
Okay, but hold on.
In fact, even the most conservative Christian scholars will admit that it took hundreds of years before all the various so-called heresies were stamped out, and the more standard form of Christianity that we know today took hold.
You're confusing me.
Either way, I think it's useful to think of each author as representing more of a community or tradition rather than a single author.
You got it!
But did Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John actually write the Gospels that are attributed to them?
The assumption is Jesus has to say something in order for it to be true. That's the assumption.
According to most critical scholars, the answer is probably not.
If you're going to believe only the things that Jesus says,
one thing that is clear about the Gospels is that one of them is very different from the others. That's the Gospel of John.
So here goes.
John, on the other hand, is usually placed last, around the year 100 CE.
Jesus doesn't say it. That means it's not true. Pretty much, he denied it.
This would explain why John's Gospel paints the Thomas character as being the infamous doubting Thomas.
So Jesus has to say something for you to believe it? Here it is from Jesus' blessed holy mouth, John 5:21. John 5:25. Now read John 5:28 to 29. John 6:39 to 40, brother. John 10:29. Go to John 10:27 to 33. Now read John 10:31 to 33. Go to John 10, verse 36. Look, now read John 14:6. Matthew 11:27.
Most scholars do place Mark somewhere just shortly after 70 CE. And then Matthew and Luke Acts somewhere around 10 years later.
Just to put the icing on the cake.
Contrary to popular belief, there are actually no author names attached to any of the four Gospels. The attributions to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are simply based on tradition.
But now let me turn it against you.
Two of the names, Matthew and John, are names belonging to the list of Jesus' 12 disciples.
Pause right there.
Mark is thought to have been an assistant to Peter, the leader of the 12 disciples.
You got it!
Luke is thought to have been an assistant to Paul, arguably the most important figure in the development of early Christianity.
Let's see if you guys are going to get it. Pay attention.
This means that the earliest date for any of the synoptic Gospels is 70 CE.
Yes, I can't show you in the Gospels Jesus coming out and saying in those exact words, I am God, worship. So you got me. You see, they got it.